I'd say the craziest thing is she's keeping up because of her social media. I think at the beginning, maybe one through something like that. Which is crazy. Finally able to use their skills more effectively. I just now noticed. Okay, I think it's too loud, so I'm just gonna mute myself. Silent gameplay for the win. If you care, you care. If you don't, you don't. I don't really care either way. You do you. I like this game. It's fun. Pretty easy though, so if you're looking for a challenging game, this is definitely not the game for you. Unless you're just bad at RPGs, in which case, if you just need a way to learn turn-based RPGs and how they work, this might be the game for you. I'm not the best judge. If you can even hear me, it's incredibly loud. Anyway, thank you, and voice is going to be turned off in 3, 2, 1. Sorry, thought I'd tune back in just real quick to say I'm grinding for the Magistones, so I can do the little gacha thing that's in this game. I'll show it off real quick, and then I'm gonna shut up again. It's this guy. It's actually pretty simple how it works. Come in here, and there are a limited amount of items you can get from here. So far, I've gotten 2 of the ultra rare weapons. I need the other 2. This guy and this guy, the staff and hoe. There's a limited amount you can get. The more you roll, the higher your odds of getting a rare one are. So, and of course you can reset it, so you can actually get them as many times as you want, as long as you're willing to grind. This is only my first time. Though I'll probably only do it once. You can get armor, ultra rare, and of course summons. These are all, it says catalyst in the little description, a catalyst to allow omniscient being, blah blah blah. These summons are incredibly powerful. The more you obtain, the stronger they get. So, this might be a reason to keep doing this. But the weapons and armor, I mean, there's only one ultra rare armor. If you want, you can grind 4 times, grind and reset for these. But overall, I would say your main goal would be these and these. The armor's important too. I don't want to make it sound like it isn't, because it's important, but not my main priority right now. I'm trying to one-hit everything, including the boss, every boss. Um, though I'm also not trying to max out my level. That's just going to come naturally as I progress. Though I'm already like level 730 or something like that. Yeah, 735. This is their equipment. Ooh. Actually, holy crap. I think with this I'll be one step closer to unlocking a special skill, so... Oh yeah, for anybody who's new to this game, there are these things called passives. You have to complete special tasks to unlock them. As you can see, I've unlocked pretty much every skill for this character. This character still has a ways to go. Pretty much everything for this character, aside from this. But this will come with time. And a ton for this one. This guy has the most skills, and I'd say he's definitely the most overpowered character of the bunch. So, that's great. Again, it makes the game much more entertaining, much more fun. So, you know, just like a fair bit. If you're just looking for like an entertaining mechanic, I would say this is definitely going to keep you engaged for quite a few hours. Yeah, that's all I had to say. Thank you, and let's continue. Okay, well, that was all I really wanted to do, you know, get all the ultra rare stuff. And yeah, I suppose I can show off one last thing before I call it quits. Go into lists, reset, gained items info, and initialize. If you reset the box, the number of items inside will be initialized. I think that's what it means. Yeah, it all reset. So now it's all full. I gained all the ultra rares. I obtained all of these. So that's that. I don't lose it. It's all still here. That is an expensive thing to boost. If you're curious, I mean, Awakened Stones can take a while to obtain, especially when you're as early into the game as I am. Like, I'm incredibly overpowered. I can one-hit just about anything, simply because of the stats I have. I'd say the only thing that's on the... well, actually, nope, that's not true either. Nope, I'm just a liar. And in case you're curious about what I was doing with the stat boosts, I'm trying to get her up to 5,000 on all stats, because I believe that's the special way to get this passive. I believe it's 5,000 for each stat. In case you're curious, I mean, when all it says is parameters, it can get pretty confusing as to what to do. But you just have to increase their stats to a certain degree, and I believe the limit is 5,000. And this passive is actually supposed to be like endgame. This is something you get endgame. But I already almost achieved it as early as rank D. And if you don't know what that is, it's the rank at the top of the screen. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but it's right here. And another thing, for anybody who's new to this, which you probably aren't if you're watching this video, but there are elements. Void is the gray color. Water, of course. This is wood. The green one is wood. And fire. While it says Shaw is void element, he's actually all elements. If you see this. Arts is his void. Then he has magic, fire, water, and wood. You're more likely to use his magics, but when setting up, you want to use his arts first, like Magic Boost, Magic Trick Veil, you know, all this stuff, Reactive Shield. Yeah, and this, like healing, but of course you can also use this stuff. Super good. Pretty awesome. Oh yeah, and another thing, I haven't even unlocked daily missions yet, just to really get a grasp of how far along I am, despite my level. For the most part, I was only grinding for the weapons, and well, as you saw, like I leveled up probably a good 100 times while making this video. Special, but nothing impressive. Oh yeah, and I want to show you everything, show off, everything that I have, so let's show you my options as to how I'm leveling up so fast. My first EXP multiplier is this, ×3 experience right here. So just so you know, I am cheating a little. I don't care, say what you want. I'll never do double damage or no skill cost. That would make life even easier than it already is. And also boring for, end game stuff. There are some EXP multipliers in some of his passives. And then in here, the secret room, EXP up. EXP gained in 3 consecutive battles, which is the way I was grinding for the Magistones. And of course physical damage up. So, you know, just another EXP multiplier. And finally this, EXP Mystic Stone, another 300%, aka 3 times. Just to really give perspective as to how I'm leveling up so fast despite the early game area. Like I barely even made it down the labyrinth, as you can see. If you're looking at the little sword cursor up here, if you can see my mouse. Again, don't really know if you can see it, but it's right here if you can. You go down, there are so many more, and I barely even broke the surface of this game. And I'm level 860, so, you know. I believe the EXP limit, you know, for leveling up is about 1 million, and then it stops rising, which is why it's so easy to level up after a certain point. Of course, my XP multipliers are doing most of the work, but thought I'd chalk it up to that most of all. And yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, Glutton's pretty awesome. You know, beat all of these to increase her mana, or MP, whatever, mana points, that's what it is. I mean, I don't know why I'm explaining myself. You should know this if you have any gaming knowledge. Okay. I think that's everything I had to explain. Or wanted to explain anyway. If for whatever reason, you know, you want to learn more about this game, maybe have some guides on how to achieve all of these passives, I'd be more than happy to make videos on it, but more likely than not, people won't want it. But if you do, I mean, please, give me that attention. I'd appreciate it. But it's not a very popular game. For the developers, Kameko, I believe they're called, it's one of their more popular works, but, I mean, they're not a very popular company overall. Solid game, though. Highly recommend it, and I think I'll be signing off. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Bye-bye.